Good morning, my friends. How are you? This is Deepak, and I'm here with you on a daily basis. And these days, of course, we are all focused on how to stay well, how to be safe and healthy during the COVID-19 pandemic across the world. In previous conversations, I have stressed the importance of not only physical hygiene but mental hygiene. And I have also emphasized that one of the things that turbulent emotions can do, or stress can do, stress being the perception of physical or psychological or emotional or financial threat, what can happen as a result of these turbulent emotions and stress is that the biological response to stress is both a compromisation of the immune system, which makes it more likely to precipitate what is called a cytokine storm, or inflammatory responses in the body, as well as decrease our immunity. And so we need to be aware that managing stress and turbulent emotions is very important at this time. There is the pandemic of the virus, which is spread through physical contact, which we are hoping to tackle and are tackling globally through physical social distancing and good hygiene, washing hands, not touching face, etc. Everybody's aware of that, but there's another pandemic going on, and that is the pandemic of fear and stress and even panic, which creates biological chaos, which weakens the immune system, which increases inflammation, which may result in a cytokine storm that can precipitate acute illness. So today what I'd like to focus, with your permission, on is how do we deal with turbulent emotions and stress, and how do we deal with that on an ongoing basis, not only during the pandemic, which will be over at some point, it will be over, but how do we actually learn at this moment how to deal with our emotions, with stress, with finding peace, so that we can continue with this afterwards. How do we reinvent ourselves right now, our bodies? How do we resurrect our souls? How do we create more peace, more joy and equanimity? And how do we enhance the process of biological self-regulation, or homeostasis, which is what we call healing. Somebody asked, does meditation help? Yes, I'm going to talk about all this right now. Okay, so first of all, remember that the dominant emotion right now is fear. And fear comes when we feel lonely. Fear also comes when we feel separated from the web of existence. Fear comes when we feel threatened, and that threat could be psychological, emotional, physical, financial. It does not matter. But fear is the pandemic right now, leading to stress, leading to panic, leading sometimes to irrational behavior, leading to biological turbulence, leading to increase in inflammation, leading to compromising of our immune system, and ultimately leading to biological chaos. It starts with fear. But fear can lead to other emotions. Fear can lead to anger. Anger can lead to hostility. Hostility can lead to disrupted relationships all of that can lead to guilt, to shame, to depression, and ultimately the combination of all these emotions can have a devastating effect on our biology. Okay? Fear, anger. Anger is remembered pain. Stress is the anticipation of pain, and everything else that I mentioned, all the emotional turbulence is a byproduct of that. And how do we deal with this? People have asked, does meditation help? Yes, meditation is the most important thing, and I'll come to that. But let's now just talk about turbulent emotions. And I'm going to outline for you 7 steps that we can take to both treat emotional turbulence and also to prevent it. Okay? So let's start with that. Step 1 is we take responsibility for our emotions, because there are emotions, right? We tend to blame this world, we tend to blame other people, the situation, the circumstance, but ultimately how we respond is up to us. That's what the word responsibility means. Responsibility. So you can respond with panic, you can respond with fight flight, you can respond with freeze, you can respond by withdrawing or being petulant or being angry or being hostile, but you can also respond by being centered, and you can also respond by having more insight, more creativity, and more meaning. Many people actually have suggested that what we are going through collectively right now is a collective grief, a collective loss of our way of experiencing the world. It's a grieving process, because we are experiencing the loss of a world that we took for granted. We are experiencing a loss of an existence that we took for granted, and now that is being threatened. That way of life is being threatened. And when there is loss, there's grief. And when there's grief, people go through many stages. At first, they're surprised. Oh, this is happening to me. And at the second stage of that grief can also be feeling victimized. It's happening to me. But it's, of course, happening to a lot of other people as well. But our initial reaction is feeling victimized. And then, as people feel victimized, they also get angry. And anger sometimes is a good release, but anger can lead to hostility and everything else that I mentioned, and it can lead to inflammation and turbulence in the body as well. But in any case, victimization occurs, and then anger occurs, and then hostility occurs, and then everything else starts to fall apart. People go through many stages of grief: anger, frustration, victimization, helplessness, resignation, acceptance, and finally they find meaning. And this is what we have to go through. We have to be realistic. Paula says, stay positive, folks. Do not force positivity. A positive mind can be a turbulent mind. So if you're feeling stressed and you force yourself to be positive, you'll actually be stressing out, and you'll be stressing out other people as well. Okay, understand the dynamics. And the first dynamic, as I said, the first step in tackling emotional turbulence is to take responsibility. Responsibility. There is a situation, but there is also how I respond to the situation. Do I respond in the fight-flight response? Do I respond in the centered awareness response? Do I respond through the intuitive response? Do I respond through the creative response? Do I respond through the visionary response? Do I respond through the sacred response? Do I transcend this suffering? So many ways to respond, and that is what we're learning. So step 1, take responsibility. Step 2, learn to witness the emotion. Learn to witness the emotion, which means be aware of the experience of the emotion in the body. It's a sensation. All emotions are sensations that are linked to thoughts. So witness it. It's in the body, somewhere here, maybe in the heart, maybe in the gut, maybe in the whole body, maybe tension of muscles, maybe tightness, maybe fluttering of the heart, maybe butterflies in the stomach, whatever. Witness it. Feel it. If you suppress it, it gets stronger. Okay? If you suppress it, it gets stronger. So feel it. Step 2. Feel it. Without judgment, experience the sensation. Step 2. Step 3 is give it a label. What exactly are you experiencing? Is it fear? Is it frustration? Is it helplessness? Is it anger? Is it hostility? Is it depression? Is it guilt, shame? Is it actually peace, even in the midst of all this? But define it. One word. One word. Now you have a little deeper understanding. Okay? That's step 3. Step 4 is what's the story? What is the story? What is the story behind this experience? Your story is what is driving the experience. So there are many ways of looking at this story. You can even write it down. This is my story, past story, present story, and I also have a future story, but this is my story. This is what I'm experiencing. That's expressing the emotion to yourself. Step 4. But then see if you can express it in many ways. What are the other stories? Is this fear totally justified? Are there other versions of the story I'm telling myself? Write down that. Write down what you're feeling in the first person, then look at it from another person's point of view. Ask yourself, how would somebody else be experiencing the same situation but with a different story? So express the story in first person, second person, even third person. You're a independent journalist who's reporting the story. Of course, journalists now are also expressing their own anxiety, which is natural. Anyway, that's the 4th step. Expressing your story to yourself and looking at alternative stories as well. Step 4. Step 5 would be to share what you're experiencing with a loved one. And that loved one could be a family member, a significant other, your child or your children, your parents, your friends. And right now we can share what we're going through technology, through FaceTime, through Skype, and through Zoom, and so many other manifestations that are occurring right now for our enhancing our collective sangha or community or emotional exchange. Okay, so share it. Share everything you're experiencing with someone you love and somebody that also loves you, whoever it is. Share your story and what you're going through. Okay, and also question the truth of your story. Question the certainty of your story. That would be step 5. Step 6 would be a release. And release is always through a ritual. So, we have rituals. Marriage ceremony is a ritual. Prayer is a ritual. Meditation is a ritual. Exercise is a ritual. Pranayama is a ritual. Yoga is a ritual. Find your ritual. Laughter is a ritual. Watching a movie or listening to other people's stories is also a ritual. So release the experience through a ritual. Rituals are very important. Music, poetry, dancing, shamanic rituals, religious rituals, prayers, collective meditation, release the emotion. And once you release the emotion, stay present. And so that step 6 would be release. And step 7 would be, now that you have released it, stay present to present moment experience, raw experience, without necessarily creating a story out of the experience. Raw experiences, sensations, images, feelings, thoughts, and perceptions. And that's what mindfulness is, mindful awareness. Mindful awareness. Be the witness to what is. That's the 7th step. Take a stand as witnessing awareness, and that will bring you peace, present moment experience. By the way, we also have a film that is being released on April 10th. It's called The Mindfulness Movement, and you can go to the website themindfulnessmovement.com to download this film after April 10th. It will be offered through the internet, and you will have great insights into how mindful awareness can help, and lots of interesting stories of other people. So these are the 7 steps to handling any kind of emotional turbulence, and then recognizing that once we go beyond that and find that peace inside us, in centered awareness, we can take more creative steps to enhance our personal well-being, which, as I've said before, is a joyful, energetic body, loving, compassionate heart, reflective, alert mind, lightness of being, and collective healing. So we have nothing to lose. Let's practice this. And we are actually doing studies at our foundation to see how these practices can help enhance the immune system, decrease the likelihood of an cytokine or inflammatory storm, and help us manage our biology in a much better way. Mental self-regulation and physical self-regulation. The movement of prana. The movement of prana mentally is thoughts and emotions. The movement of prana biologically is sensations and perceptions. And then the story is our interpretation. And we should tackle this experience at all these levels: mental, emotional, physical, behavioral, and taking action. But always taking action from love. The sequence should always be being, feeling, reflecting, and then doing. But doing with awareness. And that's what stop is. S, stop. T, take 3 deep breaths, smile. O, observe your body, observe the sensations, observe the breath. P, proceed with love, kindness, compassion, and awareness. Okay, so this is it for today. I hope that helped a little bit. And if you want to anchor that with a mantra, then choose a mantra. Right now I'm using the mantra Shivoham. I am pure consciousness. I am the witnessing awareness in which all comes and all goes. Thank you very much. And Zali asks, what about fasting? Yes, I'm doing that. I'm doing a 16-hour fast almost every day. Very good idea if you can do it. But if it causes stress, don't do it. Okay? All the best, my friends. We'll be in touch tomorrow. Take care. Be well. God bless.